The Fair Lady, the 8th of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, who's also the Crimson Witch of Flames. Well, it says here Crimson Witch of Embers. And Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith and the Supreme Commander of the Galactic Empire. Wait, what? Not him? Oh, okay. Arlecchino, the father of the House of Heart, number 4 of the Fatui Harbingers, aka the Knave. You sure this isn't just Darth Vader? What do you mean she's not Darth Vader?
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
Welcome back everyone to another video. Today we're gonna be doing something that is slightly different from what we used to do. It's still the same Mosite inspired video, but instead of bringing judgment upon one Harbinger, we're gonna bring judgment upon 2 Harbingers. So we're gonna be answering the question, what if La Signora and Arlecchino were charged for their crimes? AKA the sequel to What If Scaramouche was charged for his crimes, which is another sequel to What If Tartaglia was charged for his crimes. If you haven't already, check them out. With that being said, welcome to an episode of What If Fatui Harbingers were charged for their crimes, Mommy edition. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, now if you've seen my previous videos, then you know the drill. 7 different nations in Teyvat means 7 different laws, with their real-life counterparts. And if I can't find the specific punishment for a certain crime in that country's law, we're gonna be using the average and standard penalty. We're gonna start with La Signora and use Germany's law for her crimes in Mondstadt and Japan's law for her Inazuma crimes. With that being said, don't forget to subscribe and watch until the end to get the full summary of the crimes these Harbingers commit. Let's begin, shall we? First of all, I'm sure that Signora is the one who ordered these Fatuis to ambush Venti, which should count as solicitation. And the closest punishment I can find is this 2-year penalty, which involves encouraging an offense. It might not be the most accurate, but considering that Venti is an Archon, I guess this punishment can work. Okay, so a lot of things are happening all at once here, so we're gonna break this down one by one. Signora uses a cryo delusion to attack Venti, Paimon, and the Traveler. So we got aggravated assault on a deity, aggravated assault on a child, and the normal aggravated assault. The punishment for aggravated assault in Germany is between 6 months and 10 years. In less serious case, it's 3 months and 5 years. I'm gonna give her around 5 years for Venti because he's a god, and 3 years for Paimon because she's a child and she literally turned into a popsicle, and around 3 months for the Traveler because they're the least injured.
At last, Mondstadt's rodent ruler in the flesh. Scurrying through the streets looking for leftovers. Mondstadt calls this a god?
Resident rodent beats invasive vermin.
Here we see that Signora went from aggravated assault with her delusion to physical assault. But I don't really understand how it went from 6 months to 10 years with aggravated assault to an immediate 5 years or a fine for just physical assault. This is just a mere slap from Signora, but Venti is a god, so I'm gonna give her like 1 year.
Don't you dare speak back to me, insolent bard. Absentee Archon of Mondstadt. How impotent you've become.
That smirk you wear looks out of place. Did you steal it from your master's face?
Should have held your tongue. So, this is a gnosis. Wouldn't be caught dead wearing this ugly thing in public.
The punishment for theft in Germany is around 5 years. But just like what Zhongli says,
as Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade. Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a gnosis.
Realistically speaking, There is no such thing.
You know what? Might as well give Signora the life sentence.
Wouldn't be caught dead wearing this ugly thing in public.
Beauty is a waste when the beholder has no taste.
Oh, did I say 1 year last time for the slap? Add another year. Well, I believe that concludes Signora's crimes in Mondstadt, which is surprisingly short. The total sentence for Signora's crimes in Mondstadt are life imprisonment plus 12 years and 3 months. And now we're gonna move on to her crimes in Inazuma, which will involve the laws of Japan. Okay, so what am I counting? Good question. I'm counting the amount of officers Signora assaulted. The punishment for assaulting officers in duty in Japan is around 3 years with or without work, which also includes a fine of 500,000 yen. 12 multiplied by 3 is equivalent to 36 years. 500,000 multiplied by 12 is 6 million yen. Now if we convert 6 million yen to dollars, that will be around $39,293. Using this Redditor's post of 262 mora being $1, $39,293 is equivalent to 10,294,766 mora.
The way people charge in here as they please. So uncivilized. If I didn't know this was Tenshukaku, I might have mistaken it for some kind of street market.
The fact that Signora knows this is the Tenshukaku and how there are 12 officers guarding this place, which she kinda knocked them all out, it's clear that Tenshukaku is government property and isn't a place for you to just casually barge in. Now the punishment for trespassing in Japan is around 3 years and a fine of 100,000 yen. But again, considering that this is the Tenshukaku, I'm gonna increase that punishment twice as hard. Now if we convert 200,000 yen to dollars, that will be around $1312. $1,312 is equivalent to 343,744 mora.
Have you learned your lesson now?
Oh no! What has she done to Kujo-Sara?
Kujo-Sara is a Tengu and the general of the Tenryu Commission. Knocking her out counts as assault on officer, but twice the punishment, which means a fine of 1 million yen. Or should I say $6,564. Which is around 1,719,768 mora.
The right to punish Inazumans for their crimes is mine alone, not yours, Signora.
Then I apologize, Almighty Shogun. I know, you can't get me out of your mind. But you really don't need to call my name all the time. Don't go thinking I'm surprised to see you here. I'm well aware that you hate me, with the way you follow me around like a dark shadow. Ah, so you came to expose my crimes in front of the Shogun? I'm just a Snezhnayan diplomat. I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about.
It is revealed here that Signora has been distributing delusions, meaning she is involved on the delusion manufacturing with Scaramouche, which we last time treated as a drug offense on what if Scaramouche was charged for his crimes, and gave him this sentence. Let me just give that to Signora real quick.
I am a Snezhnayan diplomat. You know what happens if you lay a finger on me. I swear, if you strike me, I will make sure. The Fatui will make sure that your precious Inazuma... Stop! I order you! And you! Filthy rats! All of you!
I'm pretty sure that Signora is trying to steal Raiden's noses here out of desperation, since there's a similarity on the attack pattern she did with Venti. The punishment for theft in Japan is around 10 years imprisonment and a fine of 500,000 yen. but this is more of an attempt at theft. Nevertheless, I will still give that 10-year punishment because a gnosis is involved, with the only leniency of not giving her the 500,000 yen fine. Did I say 10 years? I mean death sentence. I totally meant death sentence. So the total sentence for the crime Signora committed in Inazuma are life imprisonment plus 48 years with work and also a fine of 29.4 million mora. But hey, that no longer counts. Because she's dead. Overall, the total sentence for all the crimes Signora committed are a death sentence, 2 life imprisonment plus 48 years with work, with an extra 12 years and 3 months, also a fine of 29.4 million mora. But hang on tight, cause this is just the beginning. Don't forget that we still have a second harbinger to bring judgment upon. With that being said, let's begin the next case.
Where's Peruere? Didn't she want to hear the story?
Excuse me, Mother. She's doing a funeral for her spider. You will be a great king. I'm sorry. Thank you.
So this crime takes place in Fontaine, which kinda means we have to use the laws of France. However, it is later revealed that Peruere is being judged in Snezhnaya. For that reason, we're gonna temporarily use the laws of Mother Russia. Anyway, the previous knave Krusabena, who was also the former head of the House of Heart, is known to be forcing the children there to fight to the death to get the title king. Due to that reason, it's very clear that Peruere is forced to duel with Clervy. It is also revealed that Clervy wants to die because that is the way for her to be actually free. And she allegedly lets Peruere end her life in the duel. This should count as a case of manslaughter, which is considered to be accident killing in Russia. The sentence is around 5 years imprisonment. The part that complicates things, however, is the fact that Clervy died at 16 years old. Peruere should be the same age at that time considering that they grew up together. So I guess we're gonna cut that sentence by half.
Sadly, they're all so useless! Surrender. Let your mother guide you, and you shall become the one true king!
My answer is no.
Now that is murder. And not just any murder, but a murder on a Fatui diplomat. The sentence for murder in Russia is between 6 and 15 years imprisonment. And do take note that Peruere has been planning to assassinate Crisapena for a long time. So technically speaking, the most appropriate penalty for her is the full 15-year imprisonment. But here's another part that kinda complicates things.
Clairvy died when she was 16 years old. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared.
So Peruere should be 17 years old when she assassinated Crisapena, which I believe should count as another juvenile crime, reducing the sentence by half. Oh, and she blew up this building in the process. I'd like to consider this as arson, but due to many variety of arson-related punishments in Russia, I'm gonna stick with something more clear. Yeah, I know this might be a little heavy, but the explosion says everything.
She killed the Harbinger? Shh.
Wolf.
Her Majesty the Tsaritsa has decreed as follows.
Hence!
I hereby pardon your crimes
Forth!
and bestow
You shall be known
upon you a new name.
as
This title and its legacy of bloodshed are now
Darth Vader.
my poor, mad, cursed
Vader.
Ah, those fools. They will never know the wonders of wealth. Huh?
The penalty for murder in France is a maximum of 30 years. And if Anakin, Darth Arlecchino isn't getting the 30-year sentence, she's gonna get no more than 20 years imprisonment.
Whatever. The gem will sell just fine. Let's grab a few more things and get out of here.
Something's not right. This place has been cleaned. And recently.
Good evening, you two.
Who are you?
Who I am is not important, but the fact that I'm here is. You'll be leaving empty-handed tonight.
Says who, huh? We ain't afraid of you. Come on, let's get her.
Don't you find this whole situation strange? All this wealth, with no one to guard it.
She's giving me the creeps. Run!
Avarice is a deadly vice. Even sheer indifference is preferable to greed. Good night, gentlemen.
Me.
Father, your face.
Fremine, we can take in a few more homeless children next year. I have acquired some new funds.
Oh, okay.
Okay, she looted that guy, didn't she? Might as well call this burglary. Burglary in France is considered as aggravated theft. Depending on the aggravating circumstances, the penalty can go from 5 years to life imprisonment, and a fine up to 150,000 euros, which should be $156,617. If we convert that to Mora, that would be 41,033,654 Mora. Considering that this is a successful burglary, and Arlecchino not only looted the entire wealth of this dude to the point that it vanished without a trace, but she also killed him, I believe our life sentence is in order.
House to the other end of light lie still bleak shades.
I'm pretty sure she killed that Ermine, and it's only logical that this took place in Sumeru. And this is on a desert area, so we're gonna temporarily use the laws of Egypt. And the penalty for murder in Egypt is... Wait, what? Does that mean she's dead? Huh, okay.
Oh, come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious.
So it appears that Arlecchino is now stalking Farina, which is kinda evident due to her change of clothes. Stalking is considered as moral harassment in France, and the penalty for doing so is 1 year imprisonment and a fine of 15,000 euros. But this isn't considered as normal stalking. Arlecchino is currently stalking Farina, and Farina at this period of time is considered as the Hydro Archon. And I recently found out that Fontaine have some exceptionally strict laws when it comes to Farina.
Fontaine does have some rather intriguing laws on its books. For instance, it is forbidden to release any flying objects during the first 3 days of each month. During the dry season, all bivalves that wash ashore belong to the Hydro Archon, while all other mollusks belong to the people. No domestic pets shall be named after Farina.
You two are charged with eating a cake specially prepared for the Archon by a Snezhnayan envoy without the Archon's permission, thereby incapacitating the political center of Fontaine for a brief period. Sentence: 45 days? Just looking at the charges, it seems you two are capable of causing some serious trouble. And considering how fond Lady Farina is of sweets, this crime is tantamount to trying to assassinate the Hydro Archon herself.
So if you can't even name your pet after Farina, nor accidentally eating a cake that was meant for her, which allegedly is a crime, quote, tantamount to trying to assassinate the Hydro Archon herself, unquote. So to be honest, due to how ridiculous the laws of Fontaine that have something to do with Farina is, I wouldn't be surprised if Arlecchino gets a death sentence for stalking Farina because that is an actual crime. But just to make it less absurd, we're gonna give her the previous France stalking penalty but double the sentence, which means a fine of 30,000 euros. And I believe that's around $31,393, aka 8,224,966 Mora.
Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed. It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, targeting her has lost all meaning. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone.
So after stalking Farina, Arlecchino almost attempted to assassinate Farina, with also an intent to steal the Hydronosis. Realistically speaking, it's only natural that Arlecchino will most likely receive a death sentence for this.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley.
The penalty for bribery in France is pretty severe. It is unclear if Arlecchino asks her children to bribe the guards for information, or if she simply tells them to do it however they want, but they end up using bribery. Still, I find this sentence being a little too severe because they are just trying to gather information and know the situation. So, I guess I'll just reduce this sentence by like 90%. After all, it is mentioned that Wriothesley sorta made this unsuccessful. And 100,000 euros is equivalent to $104,645, which is around 27,416,990 mora.
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
First of all, this is supposed to be a duel, so I'm not gonna count the part where she ragdolls her children. But the part where she starts attacking with the Force, I mean, whatever these flame spikes are, the duel isn't supposed to be over yet. Therefore, she shouldn't have attacked the other children who are not part of this duel. And I'm well aware that Arlecchino made sure that her attacks won't kill the other children. At least, not yet. But it's obvious that one wrong move from these guys will result a casualty. Therefore, this will count as reckless child endangerment. And these two are the closest punishment I can find. Obviously not counting the violence part and the 8 days incapacity of work thingy, since none of them got hurt because the traveler intervened. So we're gonna take this sentence and reduce it by half, and also remove the fines. And case closed. So, the total sentence for Darth Vader Arlecchino's crimes are 2 death sentences, a life imprisonment plus 63 years, and a fine of 39.8 million mora. But that's not everything. We are now on our first level of monetization. So if any of you guys wanna, you know, super chat to support me, yeah, that will be massively appreciated. Any amount is fine. No pressure, of course. Also, I'll probably be making a channel membership soon, so if anyone wants to join, yeah. Oh, also, I made myself a Discord server, so if you guys want to hang out and chat, the link is in the description and the pinned comment. Now, did I mention this video have prequels? You can choose to check out the Scaramouche edition or the Tartaglia edition by clicking right here. Go ahead and click it, and I'll see you guys in that video, and you might want to hurry up before the video ends.